Now, the next movie I'm going to talk about is The Way Back, starring Ben Affleck, which is about a guy who was a former basketball player in high school, in which he basically grew up and became an alcoholic, and he ends up getting hired by his old school to be the coach to try and get them to, win a game. And along the way, he ends up finding out that he needs the team. Well, the team needs him just as much as he needs the team. And so going into this movie, it looked like, it was going to be something pretty decent. I was sad to say that I left the theater just like there were certain things that they could have done better. So I did like Ben Affleck in the role. Ben Affleck did great. Did a great job. But the movie lacks in its balance of the story of what it was trying to do. I mean, the story is mainly about Ben Affleck's character and everything else. But I was confused at the point of setting up certain characters and how they were introduced, like the basketball players, and really not do anything with them. It was like they kind of played the background, but yet you introduced into certain parts of their lives and certain things that happen with certain basketball players that would set up for maybe more of a story for them as well as Ben Affleck's character and everything else. And it just didn't do that. It would set up something and just kind of like leave it there. It was something that happened to one of the characters, one of the basketball players earlier in the film after he became the coach. And he came back later, something else happened to where he kind of rectified the situation. And it just disappeared. So when he showed up later in the movie, it was like, I forgot all about him. I didn't even know that. I forgot that he was even in the movie. This character, it was crazy. I just didn't like how they did certain things like that. I felt like they could have had a balance between Jack, which is Ben Affleck's character, and the basketball team members. Because if you're gonna set them up for certain things that happen in their lives, then have them have a more of a major role. Just don't play them to the background. And I feel like they spent too much time explaining how big of an alcoholic Jack is, and that time could have been spent on other characters, not even just the basketball, basketball players, but maybe some other people in his life, because there are other people in his life that try to help him out or see that he has a problem and everything else. It's like, you could spend a little bit more time on that, especially the basketball players, like I said. But yeah, that was just a major flaw in this movie. But one of the other things is that I love how they put the emotion behind it, because you get behind the main character Jack, you want him to get better, but at the same time, when he fucks up, he does something, just that he shouldn't be doing, you get upset with him. When you do it like a friend that may be in that situation or a similar situation. But I feel like they didn't play to the strengths that they could have played to when it came to that type of aspect. You got a little bit of the emotion, but it wasn't as hard hitting as they could have made it. But overall, this movie, it's decently, I say it's decent enough to check out, but for me, it is a miss. It's not a movie that I would highly recommend to anybody, but I wouldn't tell people to stay away from it. It just, for me, it just didn't do it for me.